Never before, by the way, has the country looked more divided on a central issue, and never before has there been so much distrust between the Parliament and the people.
This quiet corner, safe corner of southwest London was suddenly the site of murders and murderous attacks on women.
We want all of our students to progress to these universities. Why not? They've got what it takes, they've got the ability, we just need to support them.
I never wanted to be a singer. I always wanted to be just the writer and be at the back.
What a week it's been in Westminster. The Prime Minister fought furiously to get her Brexit plan approved by Parliament, but MPs chose to vote her deal down in huge numbers, the biggest defeat a government has suffered in modern history. After that, Mrs May faced a vote of no confidence, which she survived for now. But there remains the problem of what next for Brexit.
What she has now, in my view, is a massive mandate. 432 votes against her deal. She takes it back to Brussels and she says, we can't do this deal as it is, we need a fresh approach.
27 countries have made a deal. I think it's a good deal. If she comes to the EU and requests some concessions, there might be a possibility to give minor concessions, but neither Theresa May nor Corbyn would be able to negotiate a much better deal.
Let's just prepare for no deal. Let's have confidence. Let's have confidence in our own country. Let's not be frightened. Let's take the step forward and go for no deal. It won't be as bad as a cliff edge, crashing out. These are all Remainer words. We don't want these Remainer words. They mean nothing. We want a managed no deal.
We're almost 3 years down the road. The division is as bad as it has ever been, if not worse. Neighbours, families, friends, even the political parties, everybody's divided. Now, if we can't get it together in almost 3 years, then I think it's time to think again and ask the people what they want.
But let me ask you about, the present process, which has only just started, initiated last night by Theresa May, this process of trying to seek consensus amongst parliamentarians, and about the leader of your party, about Mr Corbyn and his decision not to engage with Theresa May unless she takes no deal off the table. Do you think that was wise by Mr Corbyn?
Well, look, she should take no deal off the table as far as the government's concerned. I think her argument is that Parliament is the only place where no deal can be taken off the table. But she could say immediately that the government believes that no deal should not be the way forward.
So you think he's right not,
In fact,
not to talk to her?
Said that. Well, I think he's right to ask her what she really means when she says that she wants to consult. Because if she can't take no deal off the table, then I think it is very difficult for us to move forward and get an agreement about a way forward. I am pretty sure that there is a big majority in Parliament against a no deal. And I'm pretty sure that if we put to the vote, perhaps it will be a week from now, I think it's a week on Tuesday, that would be the agreement. Now, if she said that the government does not support the no deal option, I think she would be in a better place to be able to chair these discussions. Now, Jeremy Corbyn and her, you know, this is political theatre.
Well, that's
to
the
some
point.
extent,
That's what I wanted to ask you.
This is not going to resolve it. This is.
But that's what I wanted to
this
ask
is
you
not
about.
going to resolve the issue, as everybody knows.
About the political theatre of it all. I mean, you're one of the most experienced politicians in the land, and Theresa May has made Jeremy Corbyn look intransigent, hasn't she? I mean, you know, whether she's the intransigent one or not, only time will tell. But she said, let's talk to everyone, and she's talked to the leaders of all the other parties in the House of Commons, and there's Jeremy Corbyn saying, I won't do it while the clock is ticking.
Yeah, but look, you know, I had to deal with the Conservative Party when we were in government during the financial crisis. They originally said they were supporting us in what we were doing, and then suddenly they pulled the rug on their cooperation. Now, you forget about that. Nobody remembers that. Nobody will remember this spat in a few days' time. The serious issue is not, can we have a one-off initiative to get us through to Monday, which is what she's doing at the moment. The serious issue is, can we devise and agree a process by which the people can be brought in, as well as the politicians, in trying to resolve an issue that Parliament at the moment can't resolve.
Now, new claims against the serial killer Levi Bellfield are to be investigated. He was jailed for life and told he would never be released for the murders of Millie Dowler, Amélie de Lagrange and Marcia McDonnell.
Well, several women have now come forward alleging that they too were attacked by him. That's after watching an ITV drama about the police investigation.
Young French girl. They found her body on Twickenham Green. They want me as SIO.
I can now confirm that her name was Amélie de Lagrange.
We give this everything we've got. All right?
Let's go. You got anything solid?
Not yet, sir.
We got her on CCTV, Gov.
If we have to trace 25,000 vans, then we have to trace 25,000 vans.
Chance of a link to an attack near the Green a few months ago.
Millie Dowler went missing in March 2002.
Isn't it possible that there is a serial killer out there?
Well, you're going to listen to that, not over me.
Where do you think I work, Colin?
Go. Your job is to get him off the pavement before he hurts someone else. Monsieur de Lagrange? Yes. Detective Chief Inspector Colin Sutton.
Well, that TV series is based on the book that was written by the former Detective Chief Inspector Colin Sutton. He worked in the Met Murder Senior Investigation Office from 2003 to 2011, and he joins us now in the studio. Colin, very warm welcome to you. I was binge-watching this last night, so I had a late night thanks to you. You had very little to go on, didn't you, with this investigation that you needed to get through in order to bring this man to justice. How did you even know where to start?
We were fortunate in that we were able to get some information from the mobile phone company, from Amélie de Lagrange's phone. That gave us a likely area where that phone had been disposed of. That told us that the murderer had almost certainly driven away from the scene towards Walton-on-Thames. That enabled us to define a CCTV area, and it kind of mushroomed from there. There was no forensic evidence, no fingerprint, no scientific evidence, so we had to sort of start with that and then gradually work our way through 2,500 hours or so of CCTV. That disclosed to us a vehicle which looked very suspicious, and we went on from there.
How long was it before you started connecting what had happened to Amélie to the other girls?
Well, it was always in the back of the mind from the very beginning, because, you know, this quiet corner, safe corner of southwest London was suddenly the site of murders and murderous attacks on women.
It seemed like an obvious conclusion to come to, yet your superiors were very clear, weren't they, when dealing with the media, that they had no reason to think there was any link.
The difficulty is, if you formally link two crimes, it means if you eliminate somebody from one, you eliminate him from all the others. So you can't really formally link until you've got some scientific clue, like fingerprint or DNA, that makes you certain it's the same person. We didn't have that in this case, but what we did say was that these crimes are so similar, the chances of them being committed by two different people are so remote, it makes perfect sense for them all to be investigated by the same team.
Your team was very large. We've had a lot of cuts, haven't we, to police personnel. Do you think if that investigation was happening today, how would it be different?
It's a very good question. I would hope that it wouldn't be much different at all. When something like this comes along, it's like a once-in-a-generation thing. That's a phrase that's not very good at the moment, is it? But it kind of happens, and the Met Police have got the resources somewhere to pull in and flood that investigation for a short time with lots of people. I hope that would still happen, but there's no doubt there's been a quarter of the murder command has gone over the last 10 years, so there isn't that resilience to cope with things like this that there would have been 10 years ago because of the cuts.
Brampton Manor Academy in East London is in one of the poorest boroughs of the city, but 41 of their students have received offers to study at Oxford and Cambridge University. Nearly all of them are from a black and minority ethnic background.
It's like a dream, like it's just there, like in the corner, like waiting for it to be unlocked.
The school is selective and interview processes take place for candidates who want to study here. But I spoke to the head teacher earlier, and he told me that they don't just base entries on grades, they also look at their potential outlook.
When we set up the sixth form, in 2012. It was our ambition to enable students from this community to progress to the Russell Group of universities. We've always believed at Brampton Manor Academy that the children in our school and in the Newham community as a whole are pregnant with potential. They are immensely able, they can compete with the very best in the world, and we therefore have embraced this mission wholeheartedly to support them, good quality teaching, constant support, encouragement, inspiration has enabled them to make this journey.
40 of the 41 students that have received offers are from a BA, ME background. How important is that people like that are getting into Oxbridge?
Absolutely, very important, because it changes the narrative. It changes the narrative, which is that children from this background aren't as capable as their peers or their more privileged peers, and it just simply confirms that they can compete with the very best. And as I say, this is just the tip of the iceberg. As more and more schools like ours join in encouraging and inspiring these young men and women to apply to these prestigious universities, we will find that far, far, far more students will gain places in these top universities. If I say to you, for example, that we don't have a single supply teacher in our school, now that is quite unusual. We invest massively in staffing. We have small class sizes. We have cut down massively on back office functions and instead invested huge sums of money. We have a university access team of 5 high quality Oxbridge graduates that work with students from year 7 all the way to year 13. Just 2 weeks ago, we had a professor of archaeology from Cambridge University working with a group of year 8 students. Now, that's the kind of activity, that's the kind of investment that brings about the cultural change, the change in mindset, the change in aspiration, the change in expectation that enables students to progress to the top universities in the world.
Some people may say, well, your interview process could be a bit strict and you may only pick the people that you think are going to get into those Russell Group universities. Is that the case?
No, that's absolutely not the case. We look at the context of every single student that we interview, because the context of their GCSE school matters. They may only have an average of a grade B, but they are one of the top students in their school. So what we do is look at their story, look at their journey, look at their ambition. What we say to every student that we interview is that how tall, how big is your ambition? We will help you. Are you prepared to work hard? We will support you to realize your dreams.
And can the numbers increase, or is 41 the limit?
Absolutely, the number can increase. We actually believe that the journey is only begun, and we will continue to inspire, encourage, support our students. We want all of our students to progress to these universities. Why not? They've got what it takes, they've got the ability, we just need to support them. And what we do here at Brampton Manor Academy is find the key to unlock the potential in every single one of the students that we are privileged to work with here.
Welcome back. Now, reducing the amount of meat we eat every day to just, what about one bite of a sausage or a single meatball could help save the planet and lives. Scientists are claiming that ditching animal products in favour of more vegetables and pulses could prevent 11 million premature deaths per year by 2050. Celebrity chef and restaurateur Anthony Worrell Thompson joins me here in the studio. So half a rasher of bacon a day maximum. What do you make of this Save the Planet diet?
Well, I think it's admirable they've spent millions of pounds coming up with this impractical diet. I mean, what are we trying to do? Kill something we're proud of in this country? We produce the best meat in the world. I mean, forget great other things, vegetables and whatever, but it's just impractical. And I have to really ask, why do we want to keep 11 million people alive longer than they naturally should live? And we've lived, what are they, 70 years and 10, and now it's up to 80. But I just think, let people enjoy themselves.
A diet of nuts, fruits, vegetables, it would be better for us, no?
It would be, but it's using your imagination to create something out of... takes a lot of imagination to create something out of nuts and pulses and seeds, none of which we grow. So what are you doing for the carbon footprint? You're importing almonds from California, all the things that the current vegan trend, that's mangoes from India, you know, quinoa from South America. So the actual carbon footprint of a lot of these ingredients that we're actually starting to enjoy through vegetarian and vegan diets are very bad for the planet as well.
They claim the vegan diet, you know, would make us slimmer, fitter. They say would smell better. Even our sex lives would be better, they say.
Yeah, but fair enough. But actually, the diet they've come up with is roughly 200 to 300 calories more a day than we're eating at the moment.
Yeah.
So really, are we going to reduce obesity?
Yeah.
There are so many heart-related diseases from obesity, diabetes, and everything like that. I do believe, you know, we should actually be looking at more things like food waste. We don't really need to eat nearly as much as we should shop better. We should shop and buy fresh produce when we need to eat it.
Yeah.
Canned and everything like that, buy in bulk. But the fresh produce that so much gets chucked away, a third of our food gets chucked away. And I can see it from what comes back on the restaurant plates. I give too big a portion, so I reduce the portions, then the customer looks at the plate and says, well, that's a bit mean. But I'd rather my waiter said to the customer, you can have more if you want it, than have a load of food come back on the plate and go in the bin.
They hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a boat, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor masts. The very rats instinctively had quitted. There they hoist us.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine.
Ms Redgrave, why this subject? Why now?
Well, because of the refugees. They need our help. And as you've already said earlier, and as Sky knows very well, Sky do a terrific job trying to focus so we understand in this country how much help we need to give. In fact, by the laws, we should be giving to these refugees from war and violence. The wars and the violence continue, and unfortunately governments continue to sell arms, and that produces a lot of refugees. And Sky did a great job on showing what was going on in the jungle, which was later closed. And I went down with my producer Carlo and went down with Alf Dubs. Alf Dubs is in our film. Though I've been concerned with refugees for a long time because I'm an advocate, I'm a volunteer for UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund, and for UNHCR, the United Nations Fund for Refugees. So I consider it my bounden duty as a citizen to help refugees.
What about those who are critical, and they say that some of those who are children are masquerading as children? There have been some examples, haven't there, of people being found in the UK who came across as children, but they're actually a lot older.
If you knew what I knew, you would understand that this is picking out. I mean, obviously there'll always be someone somewhere who's trying to get in, but without the reasons for it. But our refugees, they're from wars. Only people who don't know what's going on can talk about the handfuls, and I mean handfuls. You see, during the war, people helped each other. And that's why we finally won the war. Because what goes around comes around. If you want a blessing, you have to give a blessing, as they say.
Now, fans of indie music have received some welcome news with the British band the Kooks announcing that they'll headline this year's Community Festival at Finsbury Park. The band burst onto the music scene over a decade ago, producing countless hits, over 1 billion streams and a certified quadruple platinum album. Now, a new wave of fans is going to have the opportunity to see the group in action. I'm joined now by band members Hugh Harris and Luke Pritchard. Thanks very much for coming in. So 15 years since you guys got together.
Wow, 15, yeah.
It only seems like yesterday, really. But this is going to be apparently the biggest headline that you've had. Why this gig and why now?
It's about time. No, it's amazing. I think we've just had like this resurgence and like the young audience that seems to be following us now, that we don't really know where it came from, but you know, it's been great, and the new album seems to be, you know, maybe bringing some new fans to us.
Yeah. And it's streaming, isn't it, Hugh?
I think absolutely.
That's what changed everything.
Yeah, I mean, once where you'd have to kind of follow the charts and kind of have a real kind of engagement with what's going on in the sales. Now it's kind of done for you. You can have kind of like Genius mode on iTunes or whatever on Spotify, just giving you kind of the same kind of taste of what you like.
So, Luke, when you were a teenager and singing in front of the mirror with your hairbrush or whatever, and then you got to go to the Brit School, 15 years on, looking back, has it been what you'd expected it to be? Well, has it been as much fun as you thought it was going to be?
I never wanted to be a singer. I always wanted to be just the writer and be at the back and you know. And then, well, it was really when I met Hugh. I mean, I remember I played. I did, you know. So for me, no, it definitely wasn't what I thought would happen for me. I mean, I thought I'd be in the studio and not performing.
You didn't think you'd be on the stage and all the girls would be throwing their underwear at you?
Not at all. I mean, you dare to dream, but. No, I didn't really, and I was more interested in the songwriting and the kind of all that stuff. And I think the performing came secondary for me. But yeah, I mean, quite ambitious, I think. And when I met Hugh, I mean, like you liked one of my tunes, and you suggested me singing, and so that kind of then it kind of worked out.
Yeah, only because I wasn't going to.
You got a beautiful voice.
Oh, darling.